having a splendid day wherever you are in the world. Guys, it's time for the final round before we have our summer break here at the Hungaroring in Hungary. Guys, you guys know I am not very fond of the Hungaroring. This is really the track I like the least on the F1 calendar. It's not that I dislike the track, just this track just doesn't gel with me, and I don't gel with the track. It's just it's always a struggle to get good pace and consistency around this track. But like usual, we're gonna try our best and see what happens this weekend. As you guys quickly see where we are in the different departments: third in the engine, third in aero, and second in the chassis. So we are a top car, definitely. At this stage, Red Bull are still trying to eke away from the rest of the grid in P1. Racing Point is now the second best car with us in third, Ferrari in fourth, Williams are a pixel ahead of Mercedes in fifth, Mercedes in sixth, sorry about that. McLaren and Renault are tied for eighth, ninth it is Alfa Romeo Racing, and 10th it is still Scuderia Toro Rosso. So guys, heading into this race, I really just had to dig deep and push as hard as I could. Luckily, no mistakes in practice, but still, practice was exceptionally hard. But guys, without any further ado, let's head to the Hungarian qualifying and see where we can put this horse on the grid. Yeah.
Good afternoon, race fans, and here we are again for qualifying at the Hungaroring. Who will have tuned the perfect setup for their car? We'll find out soon. I was looking at some highlights of previous races here, and the one thing that really stood out to me was the run down to turn one. It's not an easy one to navigate as everyone is scrapping to get into their first.
Turn one's always a consideration for this race. It's certainly a difficult one to get right when surrounded by other cars, but the race isn't won or lost there. You've got to be smart, get through, and hope your rivals get into trouble and not you.
Jumping straight to the end of Q1 actually. You guys can see Racing Point have arrived. Sergio Perez is in P1 with Lucas Weber in P5. We scrape through in P13, so that is not the worst. Our teammate, like usual, falls out in Q1 with P16. So guys, I really just hope Roman Grosjean, just like after this summer break, he just goes to another team and I get somebody like Sebastian Vettel or some of the top guys, because really Grosjean is not pulling his weight even a little bit. I think Grosjean has got something like 8 championship points, and the rest is everything I've done for the team. So Roman is really letting the team down, not just me. He's letting the team down in the Constructors' Championship. So I'm really a little bit over Roman Grosjean. He's really he's being a total. I'm not even going to say the word that I just wanted to say.
All personnel be aware, we have a car leaving.
Thank you, Jeff. It's just, you guys can hear in my voice, I am so frustrated with Roman Grosjean. But guys, now heading to the end of Q2, you guys can see we would go purple in the middle sector. So the pace is there for us in the Haas. We round the second to last corner, which is a hairpin. There are 2 hairpins to round off this track here in Hungary. Round the final corner, get the ball out as early as possible. Fourth gear, come out of the corner, open up DRS, and it's going to be P8. Okay, we are into Q3 actually solidly. Wow, guys, we are actually within the top 8 space. We are the slowest of the top 8, but we are within 3/10. So that is actually very good news from my side. Oh, that's a massive moment for our first run here in Q3. I nearly lose the back end of the Haas there. But as you guys see, we come across the line. We are 1.699 seconds slower than our closest car, and I forgot to put a transition in for that part. So you just quickly jumped to the garage. But as we jump to the garage, you guys see we are P10, but that was on the same set of tires we did Q1 and Q2 to start with. Well, we did a...
So far, our fastest lap is a 1:16.1.
Thank you, Jeff. That set of tires was the tires we did our only run with in Q1 and our first run in Q2. So now it's done the first run in Q3. So those tires are shot. Now we're heading for a final run here in Hungary. And yes, I'm going to talk over Jeff because he's irritating me. Guys, let's go for a lap around this beautiful circuit, the Hungaroring. Even though it's not very lift from my side. Heading into T1, it's a hairpin. Second gear, take a late air brake so you can straighten the car as quick as possible to open up DRS and plant the power. Heading into T2, once again it's a hairpin, but it's a downhill hairpin. If you are wrong on the brakes, you will go immensely wide through the flat out right-hander of T3. Now heading up the hill to my favorite corner on the track, but if you mess this corner up, it costs you your lap. That's a very fast way to go through that corner, almost flat out. Just drop a gear and yank the car in through the next hairpin. Now into the chicane of the track, the second sector chicane. Bounce the car over the curb. Just keep the rear end in a behaving manner. Now we head through the very fun S section here at Hungary. A lot tighter than the one at Silverstone with maggots and Beckett, but still a very fun section. The last S, you just come off the power slightly. Heading now into the third sector, we go purple to the middle sector again. Heading into the final sector, the 90-degree right-hander, and only the two hairpins to go. Only a three-corner sector. The second to last corner, I'm a middle. Oh, that's very wide coming out of the second to last corner. I was just way too early on the power, and when I counted the oversteer, it shoved me wide around the final corner. We're going to come across the line to VP!
With qualifying finished, it's time to remind ourselves of our top three. Gasly, Hamilton and Sebastian Vettel. Goodbye for now then, but we're really just getting started. Make sure to join us again for Lights Out tomorrow.
Well done. That was a good qualifying performance.
Thank you, Emma. Guys, I really did not expect that for us here in Hungary, so I am feeling good about this Grand Prix. Let's go for gold. So guys, please, let's head straight to the Hungarian Grand Prix.
It's always wonderful to come back to the lively Hungaroring. A popular destination this, nice and close to the beautiful city of Budapest, with some exciting racing to boot. Who can forget Michael Schumacher pushing his old teammate Rubens Barrichello up towards the pit wall in 2010, or those great races of 2014 and 2015 as well. We're northeast of Budapest for the race today at the 2.7-mile Hungaroring circuit. 14 corners here, 8 to the right and 6 to the left, on a track where downforce is king and passing is notoriously difficult. And I'm joined once again by Anthony Davidson to bring you the lowdown for today's race. Now, can I talk to you about Pierre Gasly? As ever, the threat of unreliability is never far away, and indeed they'll be starting out of position today due to a power unit component change. So it's going to be a difficult task to move forward from there.
Everyone has to deal with penalties or reliability issues from time to time throughout their career. You just have to suck up the pain and get on with the job at hand. Today isn't about performing a miracle to put the car back where it should be. It's about effective damage limitation.
Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, and starting alongside in P2 is Sebastian Vettel. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Leclerc, Verstappen, O'Connor and Bottas, Perez, Norris, Butler and Pierre Gasly, Russell, Stroll, Daniel Ricciardo and Faber, Giovinazzi, Grosjean, Kimi Raikkonen and Alexander Albon. Kvyat and Kevin Magnussen fills the last spot on the grid. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track.
Okay, you've qualified higher than we expected, so let's try to build on this position throughout the race.
Guys, that is the grid lineup. Guys, please, if you're new to the channel and you like what you see so far, please hit the subscribe down below. Don't forget to ding the bell. Trust me, you will not be disappointed with content that comes in the future. Guys, I'm gonna go for a gamble and go for the 2-stop. I feel that's the way we're going to stay competitive in this race. Let's hope the gamble is worth it. Please jam with me on the formation lap. the last race before we head into the summer break as we head to 5 red lights. And it's go for the Hungarian Grand Prix. A great start from us with the 2 Ferraris of Verstappen and Leclerc. You guys see I've fallen immediately behind Max Verstappen. As we head into the first quarter, I go for the dive on the inside, while Leclerc is pressuring Vettel on the outside. Hamilton has got the whole shot for the lead. Now we jump to the replay cameras. As you guys see it side by side for Vettel and Leclerc. We have gotten the move done on Max Verstappen. Now heading into the very tight downhill hairpin of T3 through the flat out T4. Vettel tries to shove Leclerc to the outside, but does not do a very good job of that. Heading through our favorite corner, Leclerc and Vettel both go wide. They open up the door straight for me. I'm already past Leclerc, trying to go around the outside of Sebastian Vettel. We get the grip down now, heading into the very tight chicane. There goes Hamilton. Vettel bounces up on the one curve, I am on the other curve, but we take me to this Grand Prix. That's an excellent opening lap from us. We have to take a look at the replay of that. Guys, here's a nice replay camera. You guys can see heading into the first corner. I go for the move on Max, who is also under pressure from Sergio Perez on the outside. That's why he left the door open for me. He was focusing too much on Sergio Perez there. Now heading into the next hairpin, you guys can see all I'm trying to do is trying to stay with Vettel and Verstappen and Leclerc to see what they do. But heading up the hill, we're going to... Oh, I nearly lost it because they're coming out of the flat-out right-hander. In any case, you guys see Leclerc's earlier to the brakes. Vettel runs massively wide. So actually, they didn't both go wide. Vettel ran wide and Leclerc was just way too early on the brakes. And they just left the door wide open. As you guys see, no contact made whatsoever. But that is a beautiful move all the way up into P2. And now guys, now we are pressing forward. But guys, I'm not even gonna try and just cover it up. Guys, the soft tires around Hungary are absolutely horrendous. Guys, by the end of my first lap, look at my steering wheel. We're not even through the final sector. Look at my steering wheel. The right side, both rears and my left front are both already over 100 degrees Celsius. And we have only finished lap 1. Only lap 1. So this really isn't a track that suits the soft tire. So instead of going all the way to lap 7, guys, I'm literally gonna try and go in lap 3, lap 4, because I know the longer I stay on these tires, the more I'm gonna overheat them and the more they're gonna wear. So I really have to drive smart. As we head to the end of the second lap, guys, you guys can see I've already lost touch with Hamilton, and Vettel and Leclerc are pressurizing me as if there's no tomorrow. No DRS just yet, so it's the end of lap 2, so the start of lap 3, so DRS will be activated on this lap to be used as we end off this lap to start lap 4. But you guys see Vettel is already pressuring me, and for me it's just understeer city as I try to get the car to turn in, but it just wouldn't kiss the apex. It just keeps running wide. Luckily my horse has good aero, so I can carry the speed while we run wide. But you guys can see even here to the final sector, I do everything in my power to keep the car on the racing line, but the car just refuses. There's the start of lap 4, guys. As soon as this lap started, I went to the radio and I told Jeff, box this lap. I wasn't going to go a lap longer because Hamilton was taking out between 1 to 1.5 seconds a lap on me, and I was under immense pressure from Vettel and the Red Bull and both Ferraris. So I really got myself in a pickle here. So now we are heading, as you guys see, to the end of lap 4. I'm diving it straight into the pit lane. These tires are absolutely cooked. They're barbecued. And now heading into the pit lane, we are the first and only car into the pit lane. But guys, as soon as I'm out of this pit lane and onto those fresh mediums, I'm going to push like an absolute stab rat. I'm going to throw the kitchen sink at it to make sure that I can catch up to Hamilton and I stay ahead of the 2 Ferraris and the Red Bull of Sebastian Vettel. Basically, that entire queue behind me, I need to stay ahead of them.
Let's get some heat into those tires.
That's not going to be hard, Jeff. This track really doesn't mind heating up the tires like it, seriously. But guys, now we start our 5th lap, and now it's time to go balls to the wall and go as fast as we can. We jump onto the POV of Lewis Hamilton at the end of lap 5. Will Hamilton dive it into the pit lane? No, he does not. So Hamilton has got the grip on the tires. Oh, that's smoke! That's smoke from Lewis's rear end! That is smoke from Lewis Hamilton's car. And guys, this has just opened up the race completely. Lewis Hamilton has got an engine failure here at Hungary. That means we are basically now in net P1, even though we are at the back of the grid. This is big news. Now the race for myself, Leclerc and Vettel, who are actually going side by side. this race has got changed completely because now we are fighting for the win of the Grand Prix. Okay, buckle down, focus. Let's make sure Max does not get in front of Leclerc and Vettel if we can. Guys, now talk about the devil and you step on his tail. Here comes Max Verstappen diving it into the pit lane. He dives in from basically P3, net P4. And now, behind him is actually one of the Williams drivers. I think that might be Lando Norris. So, Max is also going for the very aggressive two-stop with the mediums, as you guys see. So, I'm not the only guy that went for that strategy. Coming across the line, we set a green, our personal best lap with more than 1 second faster than one of our laps on the softs. But we absolutely destroy Verstappen in the pit lane. Now, jumping to the end of the next lap, it is the new race leader, Charles Leclerc, diving it into the pit lane. Where is Sebastian Vettel? Was Vettel overtaken by a racing point? Oh my goodness. Okay guys, Vettel really had a bad in-lap. But in any case, Leclerc goes on to the hard compound tires. Vettel as well. So these guys are going for the very slow but very precise one-stop strategy. You really have to drive exceptionally consistent. So yeah, we passed them, and now it's me and Verstappen's job as Verstappen jumps Vettel and Leclerc, and now also the racing point of Sergio Perez. It is now my and Verstappen's job to push as hard as we can to make this middle stints count. Because remember, we are going for a 3-stint Grand Prix, a 2-stop race. So we're really gonna have to drive very, very smart. As you guys see, the man who qualified on pole but unfortunately got a penalty, Pierre Gasly and Valtteri Bottas are diving it into the pit lane to also strap on hard tires. So guys, as far as it looks to me, only myself and Max Verstappen are going for the 2-stop. This is gonna make this race really, really interesting because we are going to be the 2 fastest cars on track. Oh no, look there! Guys, Lucas Weber also has got the mediums on. So we are 3 cars. But guys, look at this crazy top 10. Now that we head to, after all the leaders have come into the pit lane. George Russell in the Williams is leading the way from Devin Butler in P2 for McLaren. P3, it is Antonio Giovinazzi for Alfa Romeo. P4 is Daniel Ricciardo in the Renault. P5, it is Lance Stroll in the second McLaren. That's P6 is my teammate Grosjean. P7 is Kimi Räikkönen in the second Alpha. P8 it is Danny Kvyat. P9 Kevin Magnussen and P10 Alexander Albon. I think I might have swapped Albon and Kvyat. We'll see pretty soon. But as you guys see, I am already caught up to the back of them. And the thing is, for me to make sure that I can actually win this race, I need to make sure that there's always at least one car in between myself and Max Verstappen. Because otherwise the Ferrari has got the pace on me. I am already not the fastest here around Hungary. Well, around the Hungaroring. I need to make sure that there's at least one car in between me and Max. That'll make sure that I keep the lead. So as you guys see now, we come out of the final corner on the very end of the next lap. We open up DRS, and now we have the speed on the Toro Rosso. Is this Kvyat or is this Albon? That actually looks like Kvyat. Yeah guys, Kvyat is the Toro Rosso that was in 10th, now down to 11th. So we are past the Toro Rosso, now heading after the Renault of Kevin Magnussen. We jump to the end of the next lap. And as you guys see, I take a really wide line through the final corner to make sure I've got the overspeed coming out of the final corner. And now Verstappen is trying to make the move on Danny Kvyat as I'm going for the move on Kevin Magnussen. That means that I will still keep a car in between myself and Max. But I'm really deep into the first corner. Ooh, that was very, very deep into the first corner. Luckily, I get the move sealed off. So once again, there is a car in between me and Verstappen. Verstappen made a very easy and beautiful move there on Danny Kvyat. But as you guys see now, we are now going after the second Toro Rosso of Alexander Albon. Heading into my favorite corner of the track. I am right at the gearbox of Albon on my new fresher rubber. There's a little bit of bumping and bodging there going into the hairpin. But guys, I was just on a mission to make sure that I stay ahead of Verstappen. And even if it meant driving a little bit dirty, there was a little bit of a hard nudge there on Albon. But guys, he is not in my race, and I need to make sure that I keep cars in between me and Max Verstappen. The more the merrier. Now we're going for a move on the flying Finn himself, Kimi Räikkönen. Light into the brakes, heading into the first corner. We've got the grip advantage. It's an easy move up the inside of Kimi Räikkönen that puts down 3 cars between myself and Max Verstappen. Now we are actually right behind our teammate Roman Grosjean. And guys, you would expect that your teammate, especially if he knows you're in the championship fight, you would expect your teammate to be like, okay bro, just go past. But look at Grosjean, how hard he fights me. I open up DRS again, he's also got DRS, but we have a drag race down to T2, and now heading into the hairpin, Grosjean locks up, forces me to go wide, And now heading to the corner. Luckily, I've got fresher tires and I've got the grip advantage. Otherwise, I would not have passed Roman at that stage. So I was really a little bit mad at Grosjean, and that's why I forced him a bit off the track heading through that flat-out right-hander. But guys, we rewind now back to Sebastian Vettel, who has already overtaken Danny Kvyat and now goes for a beautiful move up the inside of Kevin Magnussen as he slots in right behind the second Toro Rosso of Alexander Albon. Now you guys can see I'm right on the back of Lance Stroll, the second McLaren driver alongside Devin Butler. And at this stage, it looks like somebody dived. Oh no, nobody dove into the pits there. I go on the inside of Stroll at the final corner, and now I've already got DRS on Daniel Ricciardo and the Renault ahead of me. So that was a really unorthodox place to make the move, but I made the move and the move stuck. And it was actually not a dirty move at all. I didn't make any contact whatsoever with Lance Stroll. So now we are heading right after Daniel Ricciardo. So you guys see heading into this very tight hairpin. I actually like this downhill hairpin, but get it wrong and the corner really punishes you. Going through the flat out right hander, you guys can see we are right behind Ricciardo and Giovinazzi. We take the car back down to low, but this next corner I am much more confident than the AI. As you guys see, I close up right to the gearbox of Ricciardo. I'm still not able to go for a move like I did on Albon, but now coming out of the hairpin, I've got the drive, I've got the grip, and now I'm on the outside of Ricciardo. I force myself around the outside of the chicane, and that is us up another position. And now we are really starting to run away from Max. That very same lap, guys, the leader of the race, George Russell, dove it into the pit lane. It is Williams' car. Devin Butler stayed out another lap, and now it is myself actually going after Antonio Giovinazzi. But to be quite honest, Giovinazzi was fighting very hard in that Alfa Romeo. So let's keep an eye here if Williams have got a clean pit stop here for George Russell. Mediums off, hards on, and he is out of the pit lane. That's a beautiful stop from Williams. Heading on to the end of the next lap, guys. Now you guys see the man that inherited the lead from Russell, my F2 rival Devin Butler, is diving it into the pit lane. Tongue twister. But we're not gonna care about that. Look at this, guys. I am on the rear end of Antonio Giovinazzi, and with all these guys pitting, now they have opened up the street to Max Verstappen. The street. They've opened up the track, and now Max is basically no longer there's a car in between us, because at the end of this lap, Giovinazzi pits. And now, guys, let's quickly run through the top 10 now that everybody has made their first pit stop. It is myself leading the way from Max Verstappen in P2, Charles Leclerc in P3. P4, it is Sergio Perez with Lucas Weber in P5, but he still has to make a pit stop like myself and Verstappen. P6, it is Pierre Gasly, who is driving an absolutely fantastic race, fighting himself back up the grid. Sebastian Vettel, the man who started on the front row, is P7, with Valtteri Bottas, the only Mercedes left in this Grand Prix, P8. P9, it is George Russell, and P10, it is the McLaren of Devin Butler. So those two are on for points today. That's actually a very good drive from Williams, and especially McLaren, who are not the best team on the grid. So GG's Devin Butler. But guys, now you guys see, I couldn't see exactly the lap, but I think it's around about lap 20, lap 22, round about there, as myself and Max Verstappen are diving it into the pit lane. And actually, Lucas Weber stays out another lap on his mediums. So, Ferrari mechanics v Haas mechanics, but we were just too far ahead. So, we are still out ahead of Max. And guys, I knew. I came out in P9 behind Devin Butler. We had to make the move as quickly as possible to make sure there was once again a car in between myself and Max. That while I was chasing for the next car on the road, it's not as easy as it was before where the cars were all bunched together. Now there's gaps in between the cars, so I need to make sure that there's always a car between me and Max Verstappen. Otherwise, Max will catch me, he will kill my pace, and I will not be able to drive as hard as I possibly can. But now you guys see I'm going for the move on the Williams driver of George Russell as he is trying to chase down Sebastian Vettel. When last have you guys seen a Williams chase down a Red Bull? That was that 2014, 2015 F1. So that's actually very nice to see. We go up the inside of Russell. We don't take any prisoners as Max Verstappen makes the pass on Devin Butler. So that's actually very good. But Devin is not having any of it. He's trying to go around the outside, but Max gives Devin a very, very violent squeeze there, nearly taking off his front wing. But now you guys see heading on to the end of lap 24. We are right behind Vettel, taking our very wide line to the final corner, open up DRS. There's nothing that Vettel's going to be able to do. We take it to the inside, onto the brakes now, and that is a beautiful move done on Sebastian Vettel, and that promotes us back up into P5. So guys, now we are chasing after the last remaining Mercedes, the car that had the pace to lead the Grand Prix. So trying to chase down Bottas was not going to be an easy task. As now you guys see, Russell and Verstappen are trying to chase down Sebastian Vettel, but they are busy pressuring each other. Russell goes to the inside. He has a little bit of a lockup on his left front tire. He forces Vettel to the outside, but can the Williams get the job done on the Red Bull? Russell on the outside, Vettel on the inside for the next corner, but Russell gets the move down even before we get to the corner. And that is now Russell ahead of the Red Bull of Sebastian Vettel. GG's George Russell, and Devin Butler is not far behind this group. But as you guys see, Verstappen is going for a move up the hill, around the outside of that almost flat out left-hander. A beautiful move there from Max Verstappen. So now he's only got to get past Russell to get back in contention with me. But I'm not going to allow that. We are right on the gearbox of Valtteri Bottas as we start. Lap 27. That Mercedes is extremely strong in a straight line. We are going for the move around the outside of Valtteri Bottas. Open up the DRS as we come around the corner. We get the try and we are into P4. Now chasing after Sergio Perez in the racing point. But guys, we are really quickly starting to run out of laps. Now you can see this is the end of lap 29 if I'm not mistaken. Now Max Verstappen has scored to the rear end of Valtteri Bottas. And guys, look how easy Max is going to make this look. He dives it up the inside. He goes there and then, oh, there's contact between Bottas and Verstappen. Massive contact there. What happened there? Max just didn't turn in at all. Was that on purpose? As we look to the replay. And, oh, guys, Max had a double front lockup. And that just sent him straight into Valtteri. That was, well, it is Max's fault for stamping too hard on the brakes. But, sometimes rubbing is racing, and in F1 you're pushing flat out all the time. As you guys see, finally we catch up to Sergio Perez as we go for the same move we made on Alexander Albon, a much cleaner move, just a little rubbing, not as big of a bump as we made on Albon, and that is us now back onto the podium. And now we are chasing after Pierre Gasly, who's in P2, and Charles Leclerc, who's in P1. As you guys will see, this is Lucas Weber on his mediums, who has already passed Sebastian Vettel and Devin Butler. Now making a move on George Russell. So that secures him P6 if I'm not mistaken. P6, P5 we will see at the end of the race. I am not entirely sure. But guys, we come around the final corner to start the final lap of the Grand Prix. And as you guys see, I am hunting down the Ferrari and the Red Bull of Charles Leclerc and Pierre Gasly. But I just don't have enough laps. Now you guys see Max Verstappen is also going to go for a move on Sergio Perez. Come on, Checo, keep Max behind you. This is going to be so big for me in the championship. Please keep Max behind you. Come on, Checo, get the grip of that Racing Point car. Heading towards T2. He's on the inside, but Max will have the grip advantage around the outside. But Checo forces him to the outside of the track, heading towards through the next corner. They are still side by side, heading up the hill. Who will have the engine power? And it is Sergio Perez. Thank you, Perez. Thank you, Perez, for keeping a car in between myself and Verstappen. But guys, as you guys see, I am right up underneath the gearbox of Gasly, but I've got nowhere to go. There's no way for me to pass, and I am stuck behind Gasly. This is so frustrating. I can smell P1, I can smell P2, but I just can't make a move on them. I'm not, the tires were starting to go off, and I just didn't have the confidence anymore in the tires to go for a major dive. And in any case, oh, no. This was my race to win, not Leclerc's, not Gasly's. Charles Leclerc will win the Hungarian Grand Prix with Gasly at P2. We will take P3. But this is a P3 that I really don't want to celebrate. That is just utter disappointment. No. Yeah, Gasly, you deserve that bump.
Ferrari have really pulled it out of the bag today. It's a great win. Anthony Davidson, what helped them deliver this result, do you think?
Well, I know it's a bit of a boring answer, but the truth is they simply had the best speed package on the day, and a driver who knows how to take advantage of that. It doesn't matter how much time you spend poring over the stats and planning strategies if you can't keep the pace, and our winner today showed they could do both.
Ferrari are at it again, an excellent performance at today's Grand Prix, and they're certainly a team that know what they're doing out there. And after this round of the World Championship, here's how things look in the drivers' table. Not the result our points leader wanted, but it certainly makes things interesting going forward. So, Anthony Davidson, who would you rank as your driver of the day?
Well, you've put me in a bit of a tight spot today, but I think I'll go for Pierre Gasly. He kept a cool head under pressure and made the most of some difficult circumstances.
It's time to see how things are shaping up in the Constructors' Championship. Ferrari take the lead at the top of the table. Meanwhile, a strong weekend from Red Bull this time out, and they improve their position in the championship. Well, that was certainly an incredible weekend of racing. Be sure to join myself and Ant for more exciting Formula One action soon.
Great work out there today. Let's have your thoughts. You really looked in control of your car out there. Your team must be thrilled. Some excellent overtaking moves from your former teammate today. Did he learn some of them from you? Great. Well, that's everything.
Guys, I know I'm not supposed to be sad about finishing in P3. And guys, honestly, now you guys are going to say, why didn't you go onto the one stop onto the hards? Guys, the hards are just absolutely atrocious around Hungary. Look at all the cars that I made the moves on in that final stint of the Grand Prix. They had no grip whatsoever, and their tires were not that old. That's just, the hards are pathetic around Hungary, and I knew my car didn't have the pace to stay with the other hard tire users, so I had to go for the two-stop.
Fantastic podium. Well done. Keep pushing like this for the rest of the season.
I will definitely push for the rest of the season, Emma, but yeah, that was so disappointing. And guys, even this happened to add on to the disappointment. Oh my goodness.
I'm afraid negotiations have broken down, and there's nothing more I can do. Luckily, we had the team's original offer to fall back on, so we've agreed to those terms. We'll have another chance to negotiate down the road.
And Hungary being Hungary, it always gives me bad luck. But in any case, guys, thank you so much for watching. That still was an absolutely epic Grand Prix. If you like what you've seen today, please drop a like on the video down below. It's only going to take you 2 seconds. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. You will not regret it. Don't forget to ding the bell to never miss a future episode. And please share this video with your friends on social media, and I will give you a future shout out. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see y'all next time. Cheers!